In solo leveling, after Akari Shimizu suddenly had her entire head blown off by an unknown assailant, both of the Japanese hunters nearby were shocked in an instant as Kenzo Tanaka shouted at Fujishima telling him to be careful, but before he could even finish his sentence, the beast rushed toward him at terrifying speeds, making him attempt a counterattack. But unfortunately, even he had his head flown off his body. Fujishima was enraged, dashing toward the beast at maximum capacity, but the being easily evaded his attack, slicing off his fucking head in the fraction of a second. The entirety of Team Charlie had been completely annihilated. Inside the tunnels heading toward the Ant Queen, Dongwook was surprised by the strength of the Royal Guard, saying that each one of them was as strong as an S rank. But in the end, a beast was a beast, stating that their movements were limited, unlike a hunter who uses a wide variety of battle tactics, striking the ant with a powerful blow using his shield. He then called for Mami Cha as she leaped over his head, piercing the ant's skull, ripping it in half right down the middle. But when she landed on the floor, another Royal Guard awaited her, though she easily managed to overwhelm it with her quick attacks, as she then stated that their bodies were way tougher than she had originally expected. Dongwook went on to say that the Royal Guards were really more powerful than the regular ants, but he was glad there weren't many of them. But Byung-gu replied, telling them not to worry since he was here to back them up, making Yunho say that he was surprised that he wasn't always a scared little bitch. He responded, telling him to speak for himself as he smashed an ant's body into the ground, asking if he had forgotten that the ants could still move around even after crushing their skulls, which is why they needed to finish them off for good. The ants they found here looked to be from an older generation, making Yunho theorize that they were probably casted out for being from the weaker first generation, meaning a swarm of second-generation guards would be awaiting them up ahead. Byung-gu replied, saying that if that was the case, then they needed to make sure they were prepared, activating one of his spells, buffing the entire team. They felt a newfound strength coursing through their bodies. But they didn't just feel refreshed. They felt like they could win against an entire group of beasts. Seeing the swarm of monsters in front of them, Yunho proposed that each of them should take on at least 10 of them on their own, as Byung-gu stated that he had the combat skill of an A rank, so he would take care of at least 1 or 2 stragglers if needed, making Yunho ask if he really thought he was crazy enough to rely on a healer, saying that the buffs he already provided were already more than enough, so he should just stand back and watch how it's done.